Hey, you know what? Actually, that's a good segue, because speaking of smells, I came across this. This is going to be really short because I think it's hilarious. There's not a ton of information on it. It's true, though. We'll say that. Here is a word I can't pronounce. I know you guys love this when I'm talking about stuff that I can't pronounce. So this is a compound called thioacetone. Thioacetone. And it basically is a terrible, terrible smell. Now you go, oh, that's not bad, Jason. Stuff smells all the time. You should smell your mama's feet or something like that. No, this stuff is so gnarly and it spreads out. Thioacetone is more than just a bad smell. It's described as fearful. Quoting this article here, it says, it makes innocent downwind pedestrians stagger, clutch their stomachs, and flee in terror. It reeks to a degree that makes people suspect evil supernatural forces. So, they don't know why it smells so bad. They believe it has something to do with the sulfur component of the compound. But it basically will just unleash through a city. I think it's like up to a half a kilometer. It's this huge range where you will be just walking down the street and you'll be like, oh! It's so bad. Back in 1889 was the first time that it was really, this effect on it was truly notated. It says, the reaction produced an offensive smell which spread rapidly over a great area of the town, causing fainting, vomiting, and a panic evacuation because people just started, you were just minding your own business and the worst smell you could ever imagine hit you. And you're like, you would think the world was ending if you smelt this. So again, I don't want to be reading quotes the whole night, but I just think these are so funny. So this happened in the 1960s, okay? Now we're in, I think, Britain. Yeah, okay. Recently, we found ourselves with an odor problem beyond our worst expectations. During early experiments, a stopper jumped from a bottle of residues, and although replaced it once, resulted in an immediate complaint of nausea and sickness from colleagues working in a building 200 yards away. Two of our chemists who had done no more than investigate the cracking of minute amounts of triacetone found themselves the object of hostile stares in a restaurant and suffered the humiliation of having a waitress spray the area around them with the deodorant. The odors defied the expected effects of dilution since workers in the laboratory did not find the odors intolerable. So when they were super close to it, they didn't notice it. And I'm assuming, I know sometimes they have that delicacy in Sweden that's the rotted fish, and you open it up, and the smell is so bad it burns your nose so you can't smell it. But if you walk into the room after the can's opened, you're going to be physically sick because it smells so bad. You have to be there when it's open. So these two chemists, they're messing around, they immediately, they're not, basically their nose hairs give up and die. But as the smell left the laboratory, it was totally noxious. Now, they said, the chemists were like, there's absolutely no way that was us, because the laboratory is a closed system. The smell could not leave the laboratory. To convince them otherwise, we're going back to the quote here, to convince them otherwise, they were dispersed with other observers around the laboratory at a distance up to a quarter of a mile, and one drop of either acetone, I'm not going to go into that. And one drop of either one chemical I can't pronounce or this other chemical I can barely pronounce were placed on a watch glass in a fume cupboard. The odor was detected downwind in seconds. So now these two chemists, now they're out of the laboratory and they're walking around and they could just be like, oh my God, this is the worst smell ever. I don't know why they don't use this as a weapon. I'm wondering if how long the smell lingers in a particular area. But it seems like it would be a really efficient, you can prepare for, loud noises, you can prepare for bright lights, but you kind of have to be able to breathe. You can plug your nose up with stuff, but in some sort of, riot situation, you're going to want to have the ability to breathe in and out of both your mouth and your nostrils. If you're walking into a riot situation, you already have earplugs in, heavy sunglasses, and now you got plugs up your nose, you're really limiting your ability to interact with other people in a rioting situation. We shoot tear gas into people's houses. I think it would, and actually that probably answers the question right there. Tear gas can be fairly contained, but anytime you would use this weapon, if someone was in their house and you're like, come out of your house, they're like, no! And then you're throwing stink bombs into their house. Yeah. Everyone suffers. You're going to have a quarter of a mile of people being like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Why does it smell so bad? And then if you lived in a bad neighborhood, it would constantly be happening. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.